It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie, yo, 144. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. Hey, y'all, real talk, man. Real talk, bro. I feel like the most fucked up part about a murder investigation or a murder case is when it becomes a cold case. Like, I just feel, bro, that's the most fucked up thing, bro, when the police like, hey, we went over all the evidence, we tried to follow all the leads we had, but we don't know who did it, so we give up. It's basically like the police give up when they call it a cold case, bro. Like, they done really looking into it. They might, go back over it a couple of times later on down the line, but for the most part, they like, we don't know who did this, and we can not bring anybody to justice for this victim and they family. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, that shit be fucked up, bro. And there's a lot of cold cases out there. It's a lot, bro, throughout the years, bro. Like, that shit, I ain't gonna say it's common, but it damn sure is not rare. Cold cases happen all the time. And the only reason I'm saying all that, because we finna get into a video right now from our homeboy, Lazy Masquerade. And look at the title of this one. Infamous cold cases finally solved in 2022. And that's why I'm excited to watch this, bro, because it is cold cases out there that do get solved. Now, I would say that's rare. This is a rarity for cold cases to finally get solved. So we're going to check these three out, man. But before we check them out, man, get whatever you may need. Get what you need, man. We back to Lazy Masquerade once again, bro. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go. Huh?
On February 13th, 2017, best friends Abigail Williams, 13, and Liberty German, 14, went for a walk along the Monon High Bridge hiking trail just outside Delphi, Indiana. The pair had the day off from school and thought it would be fun to get some fresh air, stroll through the woods, and traverse the old railway track that ran over Deer Creek. It was an excursion that neither girl would come back from. I and many other YouTubers have already covered this case in the past, but to quickly recap. At 1:35 PM, Liberty's sister dropped both girls off on County Road 300 North, east of the Hoosier Heartland Highway. From there, the girls made their way to the hiking trail.
Bro, I know about this case, bro. I remember this case, bro. I don't remember if I seen it on that chapter channel. I feel like Mr. Ballin covered this shit, man, on one of them last photos taken before people went missing type videos that he do. I think I seen it from him, bro. But I know this case, bro, because I know this damn bridge and how it look. I don't know this is the exact bridge, but I know what he talking about now. When them two girls went missing and the last photo was the damn man. I remember that shit. Let's go.
At 2:07 PM, Libby posted a photo to her Snapchat, showing Abby walking over the bridge. After posting that image, the girls were never heard from again. Their parents reported them missing at 5:30 PM when they failed to meet Libby's father for their scheduled ride home. The area surrounding the bridge was thoroughly searched, but there was no sign of either girl anywhere. The following day, at around noon, their bodies were found about a half-mile away in a wooded area on the north bank of Deer Creek. Their exact COD has never been revealed to the public. The recent court documents suggest that there was a lot of blood at the scene, that the perpetrator moved and staged their remains, and that whoever he was, he had taken a souvenir with him.
What?
The case received a huge amount of media attention due to a chilling video found on Liberty's smartphone, one which showed a man following the girls shortly before their lives were taken. The authorities would go on to announce that this man was their prime suspect in the slayings. A separate audio recording was also found on her device, in which a male can be heard saying, "Guys, down the hill," as if ordering the girls to a secluded area.
Guys, down the hill. Guys, down the hill.
The full 43-second recording has never been released.
Bro, yeah, I forgot. It was a video that she recorded. I remember that guys down the hill shit, man. I was like, who the fuck did this? And we finally finna see who the hell did this, bro. Somebody finally getting brought to justice for this shit.
Thanks to Libby's quick thinking and mental fortitude, detectives had a lot to work with, and this still image of the prime suspect, taken from Libby's video, was circulated. It appeared to show a Caucasian male, with his head down and his hands in his pockets. A composite sketch of the suspect was also released, one which would later be updated to this. It was created from eyewitness reports of a man seen walking along the trail around the same time the girls went missing. The investigators also stated that they believed the perp was a local, someone familiar with the layout of Delphi. Over the years, several people of interest were identified and investigated. The most promising development occurred in 2020, when a man named Keegan Klein was taken into custody. Although he'd been arrested for cheese pizza charges, Klein was seriously considered to have been involved in the Delphi slayings. He lived close to where the incident took place, and bore a strong resemblance to the suspect in Libby's video.
Y'all think that's him right there, bro? I don't think that's him. Cause for some reason, bro, I got a feeling that the dude who actually did it, like the man on the left right here, bro, I feel like he an older guy. I feel like this dude's in his 40s or 50s, maybe 60s. I don't know why I get the impression that he old right there. He older, I should say.
Klein also made use of a fake online profile. Under the username Anthony Shots, Klein pretended to be a millionaire heartthrob and used a model's photo to catfish young girls in and around Delphi, getting them to send illicit photos of themselves and having them meet him in person. Hauntingly, one of the girls that he had been in contact with was Liberty German.
Wow.
In fact, Liberty had been chatting with Anthony Shots on the day that she and Abby had their lives taken from them. But despite being a depraved sicko, who quite rightly is rotting behind bars as we speak, it turns out that Klein wasn't actually the Delphi Slayer, and despite a few other promising leads, the authorities just couldn't seem to pin anyone to the case. It began to feel as if they might never be able to. For over half a decade, the small, close-knit Delphi community lived in fear for their children's lives, knowing that this monster was still out there, and likely living amongst them. But just last month, police in Indiana made a huge announcement. On October 31st, 2022, more than 5.5 long years after their young lives had been cut short, a 50-year-old man was charged in connection with Abby and Libby's murders. Richard Allen, a local father who worked at a CVS store in the heart of the community, and who lived just 1 mile away from Abby Williams' house. Prior to this announcement, his name had never been linked to the case. Unlike other potential suspects, Allen was considered to be just a normal, everyday guy by those who knew him. He had lived in Delphi for 15 years, and was someone the residents thought they could trust. Certainly not the type of guy to draw suspicion. But in the words of Libby's grandfather, Allen had been hiding in plain sight the entire time. This photo, released by officials, shows Allen posing for a selfie alongside his wife in JC's Bar and Grill, Delphi. In the background, the sketch of the suspected killer can be seen on the wall.
Wow, bro.
According to the bar owner, Allen was a regular customer who liked to sit near that sketch whenever he could. He would often discuss the unsolved slayings with other patrons, talk about what a tragedy it was, and theorize about who the killer may have been. At this present moment, the authorities are remaining tight-lipped about how they landed on Alan as the culprit, but it surely can't be a coincidence that Keegan Kline appeared in court on October 20th, just 11 days before Alan was arrested out of the blue. According to Kline, he had shared and rented his Anthony Shots account with, quote, a lot of other people in the Delphi area. Terrifying to think that a group of sickos like this may exist in such a small community.
I know, right?
Perhaps Kline gave Alan up as part of a deal with the authorities.
Perhaps.
That's just speculation on my part, and I'm sure more details will be revealed soon. What's important is that detectives are confident they've found their man. No doubt a long and emotionally exhausting trial lies ahead, but with any luck, the man behind the Delphi slayings has finally been unmasked, and the Williams and German family can find some closure. Alan's trial is set to begin in March 2023.
Bro, I'm gonna make sure that I continue to follow this case, bro, because I want to know what happened, bro. I mean, I want to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? I want to know his conviction, is he guilty or not? You know what I'm saying? I want to know all that, bro. I'm gonna follow that bit. But I told y'all that I thought he was an older man, because that picture, he looked like an older man. And goddamn, it's just, let's just go.
Today's video is sponsored by Stamps.com.
And here he come with his commercials. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say, y'all. It's just fucked up that the police ain't revealing why they end up saying it was him. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's kind of fucked up. I wanted to know why. All right, let's take it back right here and let's go.
Commitments or contracts. Just hassle-free postage on demand. Again, that's stamps.com/Lazy Masquerade. Many years ago now, I covered the case of the Somerton Beach Man, otherwise known as the Taman Shud mystery. To recap, on the morning of December 1st, 1948, the body of an unknown man was found lying on Somerton Park Beach, just south of Adelaide, Australia. He had perished at approximately 2 AM that morning. Due to YouTube's strict guidelines nowadays, I can't show you photographs of the man's face after he'd been found, though if you want to check those out for yourself online, they're not horrific to look at or anything. But this plastercast gives you an idea of how his remains appeared, and this 3D reconstruction shows you how he may have looked during his life. The man was in his 40s or 50s, measured 5 feet 11 inches, and was well built and well dressed. Whoever this man was, he had clearly passed away in his sleep, with his head resting against the seawall and his legs stretched outwards. His COD couldn't be determined. He hadn't died of natural causes, but there were no signs of a struggle. It was strongly suspected that an undetectable poison was used to end the man's life. No form of ID was found on his person, leading the authorities to dub him the Somerton Beach Man. The man had arrived in the city just 1 day before his untimely end. In his pocket, they found an unused train ticket to Henley Beach, which had been purchased at the station about 20 hours before his body was happened upon, and shortly after he had arrived in the city. It seemed as if he had only planned to stop over in Adelaide, but for whatever reason, missed his outgoing train. The man's suitcase was discovered inside one of the station's lockers 1 month later. The case contained a red dressing gown, a pair of size 7 slippers, 4 pairs of pants, pajamas, shaving items, a pair of trousers, an electrician's screwdriver, a blade cut down into a short, sharp instrument, a pair of scissors with sharpened points, pencils, and stationery. Strangely, all of the name tags and labels on the man's clothes had been torn off. That is, except for on his tie, which still bore a name tag with the name T. Keane printed on it. His case also contained a laundry bag bearing the name Keane, and an undershirt with the name Keane spelled without the E. Nobody named T. Keane was missing in any English-speaking country. It's believed that the man had left these tags on because Keane wasn't his name, and was instead some sort of alias that couldn't be linked back to his real identity. 5 months after his body was discovered, a pathologist re-examined the Somerton man's remains and found a secret compartment sewn into his trousers, which up until that point, nobody had spotted. Inside that hidden pocket was a small, rolled-up piece of paper with an eerie message printed on it. In an unusual font, it simply read, Taman Shud, a Persian phrase meaning the end, or it's over. The words had been ripped from a rare New Zealand edition of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a book of Persian poetry. The exact copy was found discarded inside the parked vehicle of a random pedestrian. Investigators examined the book and found yet another cryptic clue on the back cover, a handwritten phone number. They tracked down who the number belonged to, a nurse named Jo Thompson who lived in Glenelg, a suburb of Adelaide. Her house was just 400 meters from where the man's body was found.
What?
According to the authorities, when they interviewed this Jo Thompson, she became visibly distressed, to the point where she almost fainted, but insisted that she had no idea who the Somerton beach man was. Detectives later stated that they thought Jo was being evasive and avoided answering their questions. Interestingly, Jo also had a son named Robin, who bore a strong resemblance to the Somerton beach man. They both shared two rare genetical features: hypodontia of both lateral incisors, a feature present in just 2% of the population, and a larger upper ear hollow than lower ear hollow, present in just 1% of Caucasians.
Wow.
The chances of them not being related were estimated between 1 in 10 million and 1 in 20 million.
God damn!
As a
Okay, yeah, they related then. Bro, that went here crazy, bro. I don't even know what to say for this shit here. Like, what I know what's going on in the story, but I just don't know who this man is. Like, did he know he was gonna die? The Timon should shit, because it said the end. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck?
result, many began to speculate that Robin was the Somerton beach man's son, and that his mother, Jo, was hesitant to identify his body because she was engaged to another man.
Damn.
She asked the officers not to print her real name in the newspaper, as she didn't want her soon-to-be husband knowing that they had questioned her. Next to the phone number in the book, the man had scribbled a seemingly random jumble of letters and numbers. Given the time period, many people suspected that this may have been some sort of secret code, and that the Somerton man may have in fact been a Cold War spy. The theory that this was a code was backed up by the second and fourth lines being extremely similar. That seemed to suggest that the man had made an error with his encryption. Expert and amateur cryptologists did their utmost to crack the code, but all of their attempts were ultimately unsuccessful. Realizing that the man may have been an international agent, the Australian police sent his post-mortem photos and fingerprints to their counterparts in the US, UK, South Africa, and several other allied nations, but none of them had any idea who the man was. No records or paper trails led back to the man. No missing person reports were filed for anyone matching his description. None of his friends or relatives came forward to ID his body. It was as if he had never existed at all. The unknown man was buried in Adelaide. For years, flowers mysteriously appeared at his graveside.
The fuck?
In recent years, the unsolved mystery of the Somerton beach man gained a lot of fresh attention, primarily thanks to it being widely discussed by internet web sleuths and content creators. The extremely mysterious nature of the case, and the plethora of unanswered questions surrounding it, struck a chord with readers and listeners, and tickled the grey matter of millions of true crime fanatics, helping the...
Hey, it's doing that for me right now. It's tickling my brain, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? Who is this guy? I'm trying to figure... I ain't got nothing for this one, bro. I have nothing. I have no idea.
case to stand the test of time. Where had the man come from? How had he died? Why was there a secret compartment sewn into his trousers? What was Taman Shud meant to signify? And what message was hidden within the indecipherable code? Was he truly an international agent? And if so, had he been taken out by another? As the decades passed, more and more people steadily pondered those questions, and countless others. though for all that time, no definitive answers were ever uncovered. But, as of this July, that all changed. An Adelaide University professor named Derek Abbott had long been interested in the Somerton mystery, and had dedicated decades of his life to uncovering the truth behind the Beachman's identity. In fact, Professor Abbott was the one to commission this digital reconstruction of him. When nobody came forward to identify the John Doe back in the late 40s, investigators took a plaster cast of his body before burying him. According to Professor Abbott, when he examined this cast back in 2011, he found 50 strands of the Somerton man's hair embedded in his death mask. 3 of them were still in excellent condition. He took those strands of hair and used DNA sequencing to narrow down the list of possible IDs. Abbott worked alongside renowned genealogist Colleen Fitzpatrick to build a family tree consisting of 4,000 people related to the unknown man. And so it was that the Somerton Beachman's true identity was revealed to the world. As it would turn out, he wasn't a Russian spy or an assassin. He was an electrical engineer and instrument maker, and his name was Carl Webb, better known as Charles, a man born in 1905. Charles had been living all the way in Melbourne with his wife, Dorothy Robertson. The two separated in 1947, 1 year before Charles wound up lifeless on Somerton Beach. In fact, Charles's last known records date back to April of 47, when the couple split and Dorothy filed for divorce. After their breakup, Dorothy moved 144 kilometers away to Butte, South Australia, and it's believed that Charles may have been searching for her in the lead up to his end. Adelaide may have simply been the last place he had gone to look. Others think that he may have gone there to visit the aforementioned Joe Thompson. DNA testing has since proved that Charles wasn't actually related to her son, Robin, and that their genetic similarities were just a massive coincidence, though it's unclear whether Charles had a social connection to Joe. Seeing how she never admitted to knowing Charles during her lifetime, we'll never know for certain what that connection may have been, though Charles almost certainly had met Joe, given that her number was written in his book. But what about all of the cryptic and bizarre clues? Well, let's go through a few of them. Charles's sister was married to a man named Thomas Keane. That explains the labels found on his tie, laundry bag and undershirt. They were simply hand-me-downs. Charles was also said to be a big fan of poetry, and, giving up hope on his wife and his life, decided that Taman should, or the end, were fitting words to bow out to. And the secret code? Well, we're not 100% sure, but as well as poetry, Charles's other big love was horse racing. It's believed that the letters may have corresponded to the names of horses he wanted to bet on. Unfortunately, all of Charles's still living relatives never got the chance to meet him in person, and don't have any photographs of him. But this image of his brother, Roy Webb, bears an unmistakable resemblance to the man found on Somerton Beach, as do these images of his nephew, John Russell Keane. So, do we have any pictures of Charles himself? Well, we know he liked to play community football, and it's thought that he may be one of the men in this photo, taken all the way back in 1921, though it's not clear which of these chaps is a young Charles Webb. Professor Abbott and his team are still searching for a verified photograph of Charles during his life. How exactly Charles came to die is still unclear, though given the remarkable discoveries these past few months, it seems extremely likely he chose to end his own existence, probably through the use of an undetectable poison. A much more grounded, and frankly sad explanation than previously thought. But although the Somerton Beachman's life wasn't torn from the pages of a spy thriller, he did leave the world one of its most perplexing and intriguing mysteries. One that endured for more than 70 years.
Wow.
It's important to note that South Australia police still haven't officially verified Professor Abbott's findings. That being said, the Somerton man's embalmed remains were recently exhumed for DNA testing, and the authorities are expected to draw the same conclusion. With all that in mind, it seems extremely likely that the Somerton Beachman has finally been given back his name. There are, however, still plenty of unanswered questions surrounding the case as a whole. For instance, Why did none of Charles's family members report him missing? Were they even
Yeah.
aware that he was no longer alive? What was his connection to Joe Thompson? Why exactly had he come to Adelaide to meet his end? Some answers may come soon, said Professor Abbott. Some may take years, and some may never be answered.
But at least we end up finding out who he is, bro. Everything may not ever be answered, but at least bro, that shit is so, I love it, bro. I just love how humans as a whole, bro, we just evolved and technology has just advanced so much, bro. So them people actually could, from that little house strand, was able to figure out his fucking name, where he came from, everything about him, his brothers, his goddamn nephew, like, bro, that shit is amazing, bro. I just love that we able to do that shit, bro, in 2022. And it's only gonna get better. Let's go.
Let's
Last
end
one.
things on a short and bittersweet note. Roberta Weidemeyer went on a late-night trip to the market in Inglewood, LA. A trip from which she would never return.
Damn.
Her husband, Billy, and friend George scoured the entire neighborhood looking for her when they came upon her car at an intersection. But Roberta wasn't behind the wheel. Somebody else was, and whoever was driving it must have done something with her. Billy and George pursued the vehicle, but the unknown driver fired several shots at them, wounding Billy and forcing them to give up their chase. The car was later found abandoned. Curled up inside the trunk was Roberta's lifeless body.
Oh, man.
She had been orally raped and shot once in the back of the head. Sometime later, a man named Maurice Hastings was arrested for ending Roberta's life and for attempting to end the lives of Billy and George during his getaway. Maurice clearly fit the profile of the man responsible, though he vehemently maintained his innocence. Maurice stood trial in 1988, 5 years after the incident in Inglewood. There was no physical evidence linking him to Roberta's slaying, and the authorities didn't run any DNA tests to prove that he was connected to the case. But still, he was found guilty. The prosecutors originally sought the death penalty, yet the jury deadlocked, and in the end it was decided that Maurice should spend the rest of his life locked up instead, without the possibility of parole.
Hold on, bro. Hell no, nah. I'm all for trying to solve cases and shit, bro. Most definitely. But that was not enough evidence to lock that man up, bro. Just because he fit the description, that's it? So somebody just said this is what he looked like, and since I look like what they described, I'm the guy who did it? Hell no. I think they were fucked up, bro. I think they got the wrong man.
For nearly 40 years, Roberta's family went on with their lives, satisfied that Roberta's slayer would never be released. And for all those years, Maurice Hastings insisted he was innocent. In the year 2000, he appealed to the District Attorney's Conviction Integrity Unit to run some DNA tests on the bodily fluid found inside Roberta's mouth, but his request was denied.
Damn.
For decades, Maurice would continue to work with Innocence Projects, who believed that Roberta's case was still cold, and that Maurice was rotting away in prison for something he hadn't done. In 2021, Maurice again submitted a claim of innocence to the DA's CIU and wrote to them seeking a DNA test. In June of last year, that DNA test was finally run. And wouldn't you know, the fluid found inside Roberta's mouth wasn't Maurice Hastings.
I knew it, bro.
Still, Maurice would remain in jail for a further year and 4 months.
God damn!
Finally, in October of this year, the DNA from the fluid was put into the state database and was matched to another man, a convicted felon who had previously forced women into the trunk of his car and had his way with them. This man, whose name hasn't been released to the public, passed away in 2020 while serving a 56-year sentence. Maurice had been telling the truth the entire time. There was absolutely no evidence to suggest he had so much as met Roberta, and he was completely innocent.
That's crazy.
With that exonerating evidence now collected, The LA Innocence Project were able to secure Maurice a hearing to clear his name. And, after spending more than 38 years behind bars for a crime he hadn't committed, Maurice Hastings was released from prison on October 20th, 2022.
Let's go.
In response to hearing that his sentence had been vacated, an elated Mr. Hastings said, quote, "I prayed for many years that this day would come. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not standing up here a bitter man. I just want to enjoy my life now while I have it." Well, he's a much stronger person than most. Maurice Hastings entered California prison at the age of 31. This year, he walked out, age 69.
God damn,
Sure,
bro.
he'll no doubt be compensated for wrongful imprisonment, but no amount of money in the world can make up for having half your life stolen from you. Had the district attorney just run the DNA tests 21 years earlier when Maurice had asked them to, so much suffering could have been avoided. Unfortunately, Maurice's mother passed away in June of 2022, just 4
Damn.
months before he was released.
Damn. That last one was just fucked up for real. Fucked up on a sad level, bro. Like, damn, bro. That man went in there at 31, bro. I'm 31, bro. And he didn't get out till he was 69. And while I was watching it, y'all, I just realized one of my biggest fears that I didn't know I had. But I got that bitch now. I always had it, just never thought about it. And that is fucking getting charged for something you ain't do and going to spend all them damn years in prison for something you ain't do, bro. That is one of my biggest fears, man. Because how that shit happened to that man, bro. It wasn't even like he was in the wrong place at the wrong time or nothing, bro. He just fit the description. Man, that's some bullshit, bro. Man, they have no relations to the victim. I can't remember her name. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, no DNA. Why they just ain't do the DNA shit, bro? Like, man, sometimes the police be fucking up, bro, out here, bro. Sometimes the police be fucking up. I know he got stupid money for that shit. I know he a fucking millionaire on top of a millionaire on top of a millionaire. But like Lazy Masquerade said, bro, I wouldn't trade shit. 69, that's like what, 38 years, bro, of his life, bro. He had to spend in fucking prison. Oh hell no. It ain't enough money. Ain't enough money in the world combined. I'm talking about all the money combined. I wouldn't do that shit. Hell no, I would not trade my 38 years of living for that shit. Fuck that. That was fucked up, bro. Back to the second one real quick. What the second one was, y'all? Oh, the damn Charles Webb. Finally found out his name, Charles Webb, cause bro, this shit was such a mystery. But like I said, technology is so amazing now, bro, so they can actually just go back just off a strand of hair, bro, and know everything about your history, your family members, where you went to school at, where you worked at, what you did this, you did that. Like, they can find out everything, bro. And that man died in 1948, bro. Crazy. In the first one, man, I'm glad that they they ain't convict him yet, but you know what I'm saying, they charged him with shit. Well, we don't even know, did they charge him yet? Or they just said they know they guy. Either way it go, bro, I really hope that's him, bro. We gonna have to stay up on that story, bro. And I'm pretty sure one of these channels that we fuck with gonna give us updates on that story. So I just hope them two little girls, man, they kill her, finally be found, man. Finally be brought to justice. I digress. It was a good one, my people. I love Lazy Masquerade, man. We might have to start fucking with him harder. The only reason I really don't fuck with him hard like that for real, because he don't put out a lot of videos like that. But hey, once he drop a new video, bro, we probably finna have to start coming back to his channel. And I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here, bro. As always, I appreciate y'all coming back fucking with me. Hey, hit that like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. And until then, my friends, the Bean Baby Legend.